Good morning, everyone. Wednesday, the 12th of June, 2024. Rather chilly outside this morning for those who are viewing this from overseas. Our devotional this morning is a reading from Acts chapter 5, verse 29, and it reads, Peter and the other apostles replied, "We must obey God rather than men." As part of my biblical readings each day, I follow set readings which are given to us by the lectionary in the Anglican Church. And however, from time to time, well, more often than not, I deviate from them. And for Lent, I decided that I was going to reread the story of the Exodus through the escape from Egypt, through the desert into the Promised Land. And the Israelites have just entered the Promised Land, and now we are in the book of Joshua. And as one goes through the chapters in Scripture, one can actually be quite shocked at how harshly God dealt with those whom he placed under punishment. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, for example, is a classic one. He, through his disobedience, allowed his people to suffer the plagues. The Israelites, because of their disobedience, were punished along the way. One thing that stands out very clearly is that God demands obedience from his people. Not only then, but today as well. And so this got me thinking about obedience. How obedient would you say you are? Now, this is kind of a silly question, or even a rhetorical one, because I know that in our own opinion, we would consider ourselves extremely obedient. But have a look at this now. We send dogs to obedience school because we think the dogs are being disobedient and being naughty. However, they are just mirroring their owner's actions. And so maybe it's the people that need to go to obedience school and not the animals after all. Children are exactly the same. What you see them doing is a clear reflection of the parents, especially when it comes to behavior, obedience. When we love someone, we are obedient to them, not in a slavish manner, but we obey them out of love and respect for them. In Joshua chapter 7, we have the great city of Jericho that has just been captured by the Israelites, their first great victory in the Promised Land, and this was about to be marred by disobedience. Achan, who was part of the invading party, decided that he liked some of the treasures and took some of the loot for himself. And we can find this in Joshua chapter 7, verses 20 and 21. In direct disobedience to the instruction given by God to the Israelites. Anyway, long story short, he was found out after many of his countrymen were killed because of his disobedience. It is very clear from Scripture that God does not tolerate disobedience at all. Even Moses, the greatest leader, disobeyed God, and he was punished. No matter who you are, what position you hold, how rich or how poor you are, if we disobey God, we will be dealt with in his own way. My dear friends, may we begin being obedient to God who blesses obedience, Deuteronomy chapter 28. But because of our choice, we allow the problems of disobedience into our lives. If you consider yourself obedient, committed to God, and he will direct you in the right paths of life. A mouthful this morning, but I believe a challenge for each and every one of us. May the Lord be with you, may he bless you, may he cause his face to shine upon you, and be with you always. Goodbye.